Hello, and welcome to this Hoverbike System tutorial. My name is Ramanan Purisaga, and I'm a co-founder and programmer at Unforgiven. And today, we will change the character blueprint that uses the hoverbike so you can use it in the projects you're working on. So let's start. First, let me show you how it looks right now. You can see the character have some animations. I'll be using a Paragon character called Lieutenant Bellica. Let's try it. Here it is. Some sci-fi looking character so it can match with our hoverbike. So if I try to mount the hoverbike, it will not work out of the box because we need to set up the rider component. So let's do that. Let me open the blueprint. Here is the blueprint that Epic has gave us by releasing all the characters from Paragon. Thank you so much, Epic. Let's add the rider component so we can use the hoverbike. I can search it, rider. Here it is. And it's an actor component, so it will not have a visual representation here in the blueprint. So first, I want to set up the same inputs my custom character that comes with the hoverbike has. So let's open it up. Ctrl P, and let's search for custom rider. Here I have my custom rider blueprint. Let's search for this, the hoverbike actions. Let's drag this, copy, and paste it on my character. Let's compile. And it's giving me an error. It's because the rider component does not have the same name. Let's change the name. And now it should work. Let's refresh the notes. Okay, now it's working. Now let's drag a hoverbike. Yeah, right there is good. Let's play. And now it should recognize that this is a character that can ride the bike. If I press the letter E, I should be able to control the hoverbike. Now the hoverbike is working, but you can see that the animation, sorry, I dismounted the bike, that the animation were not working. You see? So this is not the expected outcome. So let's fix it. To do this, we have to open my custom rider, go to the mesh, and open the animation blueprint. Here you can see we're using all these variables to drive the animation. All these variables are being obtained from the component, the DP Rider component, so we don't have to do too much work for it to work in another character. So let's open the Lieutenant Bellica animation blueprint. Here it is. Let's double click it. And let's go to the event graph. And you can see there are a lot of things. So I will try to make it more manageable by copying all this from the character blueprint that comes with the hoverbike. I'll also copy this. Yeah, okay. Let's Control C. Let's go to the Lieutenant Bellica animation blueprint and let's paste it. Now we have this, and I want it to start here and to reconnect what I just disconnected. I will select all of this again and right click and collapse it to another graph. And I will rename this graph as Hoverbike stuff. Let's double click this graph. Let's organize it a little better. I always wanted to return an output, so I will connect all these false and not valid group all these false and not valid pins, just so it doesn't interrupt this flow of nodes that were already made by Epic. So let's create the variables we are missing. Right click, create variable, and the same for all the other variables. Now let's compile, and hopefully we will not have an error. Okay, that's excellent. Now we have the variables all set up. Now we need to add all the animations in this anim graph. First we need the animation, so let's retarget the animations used for this character. We can also, if you do not have a graph this big, or maybe you are just starting the project, you can retarget all the animation blueprint. You just have to search it, right click, and first let me check if these characters are set up for retargeting. Let's open the skeleton view, retarget manager, and it seems this is set up. View pose is the same pose. Let's check Lieutenant Pellica. Retarget manager, Orion Proto retarget. Okay, let's give it a try. I believe this is set up correctly. Let's search by using Ctrl V. We go to the content browser, right click, and retarget anim blueprints, duplicate. No, it's not here, so let's set it up. Okay, let's set it up as a humanoid rig. It's using the epic skeleton, so I will guess it would it will work alright. Let's view the pose. Weird pose. Now let's check if it can let me retarget. Content browser 1. Right click, retarget. Here it is. Well, you can see the poses are not matching. Let's make it match, because otherwise the retarget will be awful. I will try to make it this one that have less bones and is less complex. Okay, view pose. I believe we can make the best use of my screen by splitting it up. To have better results. Okay, now it's a lot better, and I don't have to guess too much. Yeah, I guess it's better. It's not perfect, so let's try it. Let's go again to the retarget manager, and with this modified pose, we will click the button modify pose and use current pose. Now if I hide the pose, it should return to the last pose. That it's like an A pose, but maybe too wide for my liking. So this pose, we can use it to retarget now. Let's try it. Let me open again my content browser. Here it is. Right click, retarget. Bellica. Yeah, they are a lot similar now. These are all right. Let's retarget it. Now, on my main folder called content are all the blueprint and the animations I need. So if I go here, okay, this is not exactly what I wanted. Let's check out the animations. Where is the idle animation? Rider idle. I mean, we're not gonna use it, but let's fix some of the bones. Like this one really worried me. Let's right click and where is the option? Right here. Show retargeting option. Clavicle. Instead of using animation, let's use skeleton. And that didn't fix too much. Let's return to animation and upper arm. That I will use skeleton. Yes. I'll do the same with the other upper arm. That is right here. Skeleton. And I'll better set the fingers are alright, I believe. Yeah, the fingers are alright. So I will set also this lower arm to skeleton, hand to skeleton. The fingers I will not touch. Here the lower arm, skeleton, hand, skeleton. And hopefully it doesn't look too bad. Except for this shoulder, clavicle. But if I use a skeleton it would be even worse. I'll stick with it. The idol I'm not worried about so much because the character already has an idol. I'm more worried about these poses. Let's check it out. The rider idol pose. That what they don't look. They are alright. Also, there is this blank space. This is where you boost, and with zero direction, zero boost, this will be the pose. When you boost, the pose will change, and when you're going sideways, it also changes. I don't know. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's alright. I like it. We could try the the changes by replacing the blueprint by with our the this blueprint here. Let's check it out. I'll open this, select it. I will go to my custom rider. No, excuse me, my Lieutenant Bellica, and replace this blueprint. Now, yeah, it's not taking into account the gun, but now we have it working. And woo, it works. If maybe we can tweak the position, because right now she's floating. This position can be tweaked in the hoverbike. In the mesh, we open the skeleton mesh, and go to skeleton, and here is a socket the bike seat where the character will be attached. We can change this to suit our needs. In our case, our character was floating, and I can also use the C key, the C or Z, depending on where you are from, to spawn the bike. Let's check it out. Now my character is not floating in the seat, and but she isn't grabbing the control, so maybe a little movement to the front. And now it's better, right? Ah, a little up. Yeah, now she's grabbing the controls. She's properly sitting in the hoverbike. And now if if you weren't using um, this complex animation blueprint, you will be good to go. Uh, this complex animation blueprint. But we can add the functionality to an existing animation blueprint. So the important part here is the anim graph, because we already set these variables. The anim graph is just a default machine, and you have these three states: the transition, the actual riding that will use the plan space to lean to one side or the other, and the riding bike out transition. I'm not sure if you can copy paste it. Let's try it. And I will enter the Lieutenant Bellica. This is the anim graph. This is the ground locomotion, aim offset, idle jog start, run jog stop, cache pose, locomotion, loco pose. This one. They are planned, full body, IK control. Okay. I'll do it here. Doesn't seem to. Oh, and it works. So let's do this, and let me check this other from the jump loop. Jumps. This is another state machine. So yeah, I would like to do this too. Yeah, and I'm probably missing these transitions. Well, let's open up. This transition is just riding the bike. So if it's riding the bike, then we can enter the transition. The same will apply with this one. This transition exists. Yeah. Not riding the bike. And let's copy this transition. Hopefully it works. Let's compile. Well, I believe it does work. And now my transitions should be okay. Let's try it out. I just need to remember that I have to set up the animation blueprint for the skeletal mesh in my character, so it doesn't use this awful idle third person animation. Let's go to the mesh. Let's replace it. Okay, now we're talking, and let's see if it works. And it does work. We surely would need to do something about her weapon, but that that's the gist of it. You're now able to use the transition, and well, I have I have run into this problem. Let me check why it is. Bellica, it didn't enter this, so it didn't work out this transition. Let me. Oh well, it's false, so obviously it won't work. Let me check these jumps. Automatic rule based. Yeah, let's use this. And yeah, now it's working. We just needed to enable this rule, so when the this animation ends, it goes to the next state, which is something like this one. Which, yeah, you can delete this and use it like this, and it should work again. Yeah, and you can see the character leaning, and yeah. So to do a little recap, we just chose our character, added the rider component, copy and paste the hoverbike actions. If you see these actions are well suited to multiplayer, we just released the update supporting multiplayer, so if you want to test it out with some friends, you can ride them. You can compete with your friends also. And it's great. So we we just copy paste this event, and also you have to make sure that in your preference, in your project settings, sorry, in your project settings, on the inputs, all these inputs are placed and are set up so the hoverbike can work properly. There are some inputs that are default ones that can be used, or maybe you are already using like camera looked up, that's used in the third person character example. Or if you don't have them, you could also go to the folder of the Hoverbike system, of the one you can download, and in config the default input should be there, and you can copy and paste. You can copy and paste all of it, or maybe just the action mappings and axis mappings you need. It should work. Just be sure to copy and paste them when the editor is closed and open the project again, so it can work. So where was I? Yeah, okay. So yeah, add the rider component, add the events on your character blueprints. Be sure that the rider component has the same name, and if something is red, don't forget to compile or refresh the notes. Then go to the rider anim blueprint and find it by using Ctrl B, right click, and retarget it. Where was it? Okay, here. Retarget it. It will leave you with all the retargeted animations, blend spaces, and even a blueprint, so you can use it. Hopefully you don't have to use the idle animation and only the bike animations that were retargeted properly, because this idle animation looks really weird. And then with this retargeted, don't forget, first copy all the variables that are being used by the hoverbike. You should know, because there are the variables that are being obtained from the component called BP Rider Blueprint. You just copy them to the animation blueprint of your character. You can do the same as I did, that is copy them and collapse them to another graph, so it's cleaner. Don't forget to connect all outputs, or just delete this. I believe it should work. Not sure, but you just need to do that. And in the anim graph, find where is your locomotion and the state machine, and add these states and their transitions. And you can use this one, which I wasn't aware, so maybe I will, probably I will update the package to use this. And that would be it. You will have your own character using the hoverbike. I hope you found this information useful, and if you want to keep up to date with all the tutorials we will be putting out, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, be sure to leave us feedback about other tutorials you would want to see and that we can help you with. And I'll be seeing you next time.